Hi everyone. So I wanted to make a video talking about my plans for 2025 because at the time I'm recording this, there's only 4 more days left in the year, which is crazy to think about. I'll be mentioning quite a few things in this video. At least I think I will. Anyway, I want to start out with what games I'll be playing upcoming. At, so I ran original Last of Us like April of this year. Then I switched to remake. We did that for a long time. Then I switched somewhat recently to part two, and we've been doing that for about 2 months, a little over 2 months. And I'm getting close to switching again. Uh, I think it was like maybe 2 months and 1 week ago. We switched and we did Ellie%, Abby%, full game, made a tutorial. Right now I'm doing Ellie% permadeath. But I'm not going to be doing that for that long. Real reason is I want to switch games again. So I have games done quick January 6th through the 8th. I'll be gone. My run is on the 7th. And that's going to be of Left Behind Remake, so I got to work on that a little bit too. But I don't want to switch to original Last of Us until Games Done Quick is over with. At that point, we'll be stopping part two and switching to my favorite, original Last of Us. A lot of new strats have been found by Uranto and Proxima, and for my favorite thing, Grounded. So even though I love my 247.55, it's still the best run I've ever done. I think with enough practice and once I've learned some of the new stuff, it can get even lower. Can you believe new stuff is still being found? So that's how we're going to start off 2025. And then a little bit after that, the TV show should be airing. There's still no release date for season two. But the reason this part two grind that I'm currently on is going to be a bit of a brief one is because I don't want to burn myself out on part two by the time the show comes around. You know, I will be playing part two when the show is releasing. I'm going to guess it's going to coincide a little bit with the launch of the PC port, which was announced for April 3rd at the Game Awards. It was announced Part 2 Remaster PC port on April 3rd. So I imagine it's going to release sometime around there as well. And yeah, I don't want to get burned out on my current grind of Part 2 by the time that rolls around. So I've been itching to get back to original Last of Us as well. So that's what we're going to do. And I will play the PC port when it launches, even though like it's not going to do a lot for me because Part 2 Remaster runs flawlessly on a console. It runs great, and I don't even have a Pro. um, so yeah, that's that. And let's get to the main one. And it's something I've talked about on stream the last few days, and something I talked about like 6 months ago, and then went back on my decision, but this time I'm actually going to go through with it, and I know it's going to upset a lot of people. When I get back from GDQ, again on like January 8th or 9th, I'm going to stop with the YouTube live streams and stream primarily on Twitch. And it's for a multitude of reasons. One, just most of it is a revenue thing. Okay? Like I know the last 3 or 4 months I've had good months and bad months. September was my birthday month. That was a good month. October, I switched to Left Behind and I was watching playoff baseball. Just a bad month. November, we did part two. No distractions. I was good. December, things were just slow. I made a tutorial, which is never good for viewership. And holidays, I took some time off, you know. But yeah, and I switched to full game, and I wasn't really enjoying that much. But I've just noticed, like, my good months still aren't as profitable as my good months from maybe a couple, like 2 to 3 years ago. And I seriously, legitimately think it's because there's a few reasons for it. Like I mentioned, good months versus bad months, what I'm doing, any distractions, showing up, not showing up. But I really believe it's just a splitting up of the communities. I've said since day one, I never liked, you know, acknowledging two different chats and just Twitch for me is just the better platform for like money making reasons and just like what I'm comfortable on and stuff like that. I have lost count how many times I've talked about like the pros and cons of Twitch and YouTube and their live streaming and all that. But this is a decision I am going to go through with. Um, Either starting like January 1st or when I get back from GDQ. I'm gonna stream primarily on Twitch. I will still here like I'm not gonna leave YouTube viewers high and dry here. I'll do two things for you. I'll still do a Twitch and YouTube stream one day a week, probably the last day of the week. So I'm thinking Saturday or something. And any like big hyped release thing, like let's say first playthrough of Intergalactic, I'll play on both. If there's some big event, I'll do it on both. But yeah, I will also, because I didn't have this brought up ahead of time, but I have 3 different channels that I run here. I have my main channel right here, but I have 2 other ones. I have a full streams channel and a clips channel. I'm going to start uploading again on my clips channel because I haven't uploaded anything there in like 8 months. But I have a full streams channel. All 3 are run by myself. And it's every single full Twitch stream that I've done over the last 2.5 years. If I go back to my first one, yeah, May 20th, I was doing LE%. I'm doing exactly what I did now, LE% grounded permadeath. So what I'm going to do with that is, for those who aren't going to make the switch from YouTube to Twitch, which I really hope you do, and give it a chance and all that stuff, I'm going to make that, let's say, I'll go by today's date. I did a stream December 26th. I will upload and make public that stream on that channel. Like as soon as I go offline, I download the stream, I upload it, and I make it public. I'll do it like later that night, so you can watch bits and pieces of it, like depending on where you live that night if you're in America, or in the morning if you're from Europe, other parts of the world, stuff like that. So basically, it's just, I think the path to success for me is building my Twitch channel as big as it can possibly get. Focus the live streaming on that one platform. YouTube, success on YouTube comes from uploaded videos as far as I'm concerned. I just don't see a need anymore to separate the live experience between 2 platforms. It is in my best interest to build my Twitch channel as big as it can possibly be. And then YouTube is primarily for pre-recorded stuff. That being said, once again, I will still do 1 combined stream a week to, I just think that's the way to go about it. Not to quit completely, but just, cut it back to once a week. And, I don't want to admit this, but the big reason for this decision is revenue. It is money based. There were 2 things that kind of pushed me in the decision, because I made this decision like a week ago. I haven't gone through with it yet. I'm still doing it both, and I'll probably continue to do it for the end of the year. But there were 2 things. One, it was Moist Critical put out a video talking about his experience, I think, with like revenue on Twitch and YouTube. Hold on, give me 1 second. Yes, here it is. He made a video about 2 weeks ago, Twitch versus YouTube streaming revenue. Literally about 2 weeks ago. And he just went over, basically the Cliff Notes version of it was, Twitch is better for like the community and money making and ways while you're live. And YouTube live streaming feels like the afterthought of the site, but the live stream gets worked into the algorithm. And, a live stream can end up making a lot in ad revenue after it's published, after the stream is over, basically. But the thing is that, so he recommends being on both, but that works for him. If you're a huge streamer, it works to be as in as many places as you can. But I found that to be the opposite for me. I feel like every situation is different, and that just wasn't the case for me. Let me put it this way. He gave some very specific numbers. There was one stream that he did that in the video he mentions. He did a stream, I don't remember what game, but he just did a stream of one game. For some reason, it got like 4 million views after the stream was over. And the video made $84,000. Just the one video. But most of those views were after the stream was over. Most of the views and most of the revenue was after the stream was over. Because I think he made a little over $1,000 just in the live stream itself. Same thing for Twitch. But what was I getting at? But yeah, he gave like just a lot of different information. After my YouTube live streams are over, I make on average about $3. So his experiences are a little bit different than mine. But also, just on a month-by-month basis, September, I can give you some numbers. September, I had a really good month. It was my birthday month. I had a really good month. On Twitch, I made $2,800. And YouTube, I made about $310. Now, that was a good month for me. And the total amount from YouTube got up to more respectable levels after you include all the videos that I uploaded that month as well. Records, PBs, anything else I uploaded. Daily runs. Was I doing daily runs? No, I wasn't. But uploaded videos help. That's just from the live streaming portion of it. And if it was like an extra $310, that would be fine. But from my experience, because we've been on Twitch and YouTube for about a year, it may seem like more. Like we've been doing YouTube live streams for about 3 years now, but it was always 1 day a week here, 2 days a week here and there. I remember a year and a half ago, Twitch was pissing me off with its policy updates, and I quit for a while. I quit for a while, but then they got their act together. They made subs $6 and gave certain streamers 70%, which is what like 2 good changes. And they've been making some better decisions as of late. So it's been better on Twitch lately. But what was I saying? Like 2,800 on Twitch on what is a good month for me. 2,800 on Twitch and then 310 on YouTube. If it was an extra $310. I would be okay with it, but I truly believe that's money that's basically being siphoned out of Twitch, as one viewer described it. It's siphoning money out of Twitch, which is not the way to go. It's not the way to go. November was a pretty good month for me. I mentioned before. I made $2,250 on Twitch, $2,250 on Twitch for the month, and on YouTube, it was about $280. Now again, if that was an extra $280, that'd be great, but it's not. The Twitch amounts are lower than they used to be. And that's been the case for like the last year or so. And it's for 2 reasons. It's not just because of the YouTube live streams. I believe that is a part of it, but it's also I could definitely be doing more, you know? I could be showing up more. I kind of stopped making Rip Run compilations and my Laugh of Us videos that I uploaded as something completely different to speedrunning that I just enjoyed doing. I stopped uploading trimmed down versions of those. And I very well I should be starting them up again. And days that I take off, I don't have to take them off. I can always go live and just do something. It's something me and my sister were talking about because I just spent the holidays with my family. And I was talking to my sister about it. She said, you know, when I talked to her about the Twitch and YouTube thing, you know, she didn't understand it a lot. But she's like, this is your business. You chose to do this for a living. You have to put more effort into it, and you have to do things that benefit yourself. Okay? And sometimes you have to be selfish with that. A little bit. You know, like I remember we got into the conversation of like, I told her like, oh, December was a bad month because I spent a week and a half making a tutorial. And she's like, okay, if you knew it was going to be bad for business, why did you make the tutorials in the first place? I'm like, well, I want the information to be out there for people, and we went back and forth a little bit, just trying to knock some sense into me a little bit. Like I still feel like I had to make those tutorials, but they're horrible for business. They do nothing on YouTube. They're more for the speedrunning community than they are my YouTube audience. But even the live streams, they suffer as a result because I am not interactive with any of the chats and stuff. I'm just there and talking. It's something I could do offline. I just choose not to. Um, that doesn't mean I won't make tutorials. She was basically just saying, like, whatever you have to do to, like, make a better living for yourself, you have to do it. You have to do it. And I kind of yearn for the days when I was just having really successful Twitch streams. YouTube, the numbers just haven't been there. As I described to my mom, that was the other thing I wanted to mention. Moist Critical puts out that video, and then around that time, my mom and I were talking, and she got on the topic of, right here, she's like, I turned into your stream, and your Twitch sub numbers seem low. And like a mother, she said, "Is everything okay?" You know how moms are. And I'm like, yeah, everything's fine. This is I always blame it on this is a down month for me. If I'm showing up at least 5 days a week, sometimes 6 days a week, doing content that people enjoy most, then I'm good, regardless if I'm on one or two platforms. But again, I've been on both for a year now. And I think it's really just kind of come down to this. YouTube is the place to watch streams for free. I'm not saying it's not free on Twitch, but when it comes to different money-making ways, it's Twitch is just better for the live experience. It just is. It has a more community feel. I remember I was talking about this with people at the end of like 2 streams ago. I showed a side-by-side of what my desktop looks like when I'm streaming. And the Twitch chat has different names. I could right-click on a name and time them out or ban them or put a warning on for my other mods, and it's more colorful. And then the YouTube chat was just so limited, and every name is in an ugly gray, and it just, again, 2 different conversations happening between 2 different groups from day one. I never liked it. I just want to get back to more just basics. So it's a decision I am going to go through with. I remember last time I was hit with like some backlash, if you will. I just, not beg, I urge you to give my preferred platform a chance. It is the better place for live streaming. Okay? I think you'll get along with people. Twitch chat has a thing. I can see if it's your first message. I can see in Streamlabs if you like just followed and whatnot. It is the better place. And if you are switching from YouTube to Twitch and you've never made, if you just don't go on Twitch or you never made a Twitch account, there's some things you can do. There's an extension that I have on my PC called right here called Better TTV. You can access it in your chat settings down here, and you can do a bunch of different things with it. Like right here, the big one is, do you want the chat on the left side or the right side? You have to install this thing to get it to work. There's also when you're watching a stream, here I pulled open a random stream. Look, otters. Otters. It's adorable. Whatever stream, I'm just simulating watching a stream on a PC. There's always like a bunch of information down below. YouTube doesn't have this, but here's all of my information down below. If you've never seen this before, I have my times, I have leaderboards, there's a schedule, milestones. I haven't updated these in a while, but all of my times, all my equipment. A lot of people want to know my equipment and stuff. It's all down here, or one of them, my PC specs. Yep. But if you are watching a random stream, something that really helps make it look cleaner is this button right here, theater mode. It gets rid of all, you can't scroll anymore, and it just gets rid of all the clutter. Isn't that adorable? No. don't know why I pulled open this stream. I just did. Um, yeah, you can also like combine it with theater mode with F11, and it makes it look even cooler like that. And yeah, you could do the same thing here, and it just looks cleaner. I'm just showing you some stuff you can do. So yeah, so this video kind of serves as a like I'm just letting you know this is a decision that I'm going to go through with. And again, if you're not going to make the switch, I'll still be doing live streams once a week on YouTube, and I will be uploading that day's Twitch stream and making it public on my full streams channel later that night. So yeah, there's that. I also want to, you just saw it briefly, I decided to make some changes right here. I mentioned this like way back earlier this year, but I made a Patreon in February, and I just did basically the bare minimum with it as I was learning. But I put out a message to everyone that's here saying like, you know, I felt like I could have done more with this and stuff. So I switched up how I'm going to approach it. I now have 3 tiers of support instead of just one, and I have all the different perks right here. Basically, I'm going to be paying more attention to my Patreon. And Patreon perks are basically going to involve a lot of not live stuff. One of the perks is like a private Q&A live stream that I'm going to do like twice a month. It'll be on YouTube, but you can only access it through Patreon. And I still have YouTube memberships up, even though I imagine anyone who is a current member right now is probably going to cancel it now that I'm not going to be on there as frequently. But I'm still offering some perks. What did I do? Click on the join button, and yeah, my video outros, I do like a scrolling thing of all your names. If I ever, during any of my live streams, want to put the chat in member-only mode, you know, there's that. And you'll, if you're a YouTube member, you'll also get access to that private Q&A live stream. It doesn't have to be Q&A either. It could be anything. I could play multiplayer, no return or something. I can do whatever. But it's more personal. I think that's the vibe I want to create with... not so much YouTube member. Like, if I wanted to rank in order what I would prefer to receive, I think, like, Twitch sub would be first, Patreon would be second, and YouTube memberships would be at the bottom. Because I just never found, like, a good middle ground. I'm not creative enough to come up with, like, a memberships perk. Like, I'm still going to keep it up there in case you're a strictly YouTube watcher and you just want to support. It's really just... this is the advice of other streamers as well. You want to just give people options, you know. But I'm going to be focusing a lot more on Patreon. And if you want a link to that Patreon, the descriptions of all of my YouTube videos contain like the exact same stuff. Same wording, same spots. You'll find a link for it there. And yeah, I'm trying to think what else. If I find that the Twitch-only live streams aren't as good as it was in the past, I can always just reverse my decision to go back. But I don't think that'll happen. I think just in the past, things like I'm a firm believer in having as many eyes on you as possible, but it just things kind of used to be better, you know? Both in just how the community feels and just, I guess, my comfort level with this as a job. I kind of took a bit of a step backwards this year when it comes to just what I need to... well, not survive. I'm doing fine with like needing enough to survive, but things used to be better. I don't know if it means I'm past my prime, I don't like to think that. Or I'm a better speedrunner now than I've ever been, more comfortable. Or if it's just I could be doing more. I always want to lean more towards that. Like, again, I've been streaming for 10 years now, 10 years and 3 months, full time since 2017. I don't want to think that obviously 2020 was the best year for a lot of creators. Everyone was home. The virtual space was never bigger and better. So it's like I don't need numbers to hit like they were back then, and that was Retro Replay and Part 2 release. It was crazy that year. Literally. But I also don't want to think that, I don't really know what I'm trying to say. Like, it's okay if I don't hit those numbers again. That's okay, because that was just crazy timing for everything. If I did a little less than that, that's kind of where I want to be, but I feel like we're almost at like half of that right now. And again, I'm going to take most of the blame, saying that yes, I could have been doing more. I could have been live more often. I always think I could do bigger and better. Some things just get in the way. Um, but I also believe part of it is separating the community to two platforms. Things started to go a little south once I committed to that, and I want to get back to basics. So that's what I'm going to do. I am sorry to those of you who are going to be negatively affected by that, but I just encourage you, if you enjoyed the live streams, that's not some kind of fluke. I'm hoping you legitimately enjoyed them. The bulk of those live streams are just going to be on a different platform. It's something that I hope you give a chance and hope you get used to. And just know it's for my own benefit. And that's about all I can think of to say. I never lay out a script. I just click record and talk. And yeah, and check out the perks for the Patreon. I'm gonna be using that a lot more. And yeah, that is about it. I'll be doing LE% grounded permadeath all the way up until GDQ. I'll be mixing in having to learn and practice the run I'll be doing at GDQ. And then after we get back, I want to switch back to this. I really miss it. And then switch back to part 2 once the TV show and PC port release. And that's about it. Yeah. I'll see you guys. Bye.